jamming with the hottest.
Hey, what's up? You're listening to everyone's favorite Minx on minxradio.com.
Autoplay turned on.
Ooh, I gotta drop a bomb on this one.
It is I. It is I. Ah, I. Me. Moi. Well, I have been away for a long time. I was working at a job, and then my job thought they could work me. And then I feel that obviously everything happens for a reason. A lot of us are, we're good people. We're good workers, hard workers. One of the biggest things that I feel is a flaw is that some of us actually give a fuck about our jobs. Some of us, we look at it past more than just income. We are in a environment where we have to deal with the general public. And even the general public, being the people in your office, you have to deal with that. I am not in the business of dealing with people who are beneath me. I'm just not. I'm not in the business of being around people that are messy. And, I just needed a couple of months to get a reprieve and understand what my purpose is. Because my purpose is not answering fucking phones. My purpose is not being a fucking gopher. And my purpose is not existing as an almost fucking 40-year-old around people that still think that this is fucking high school. I just keep it a buck. And I just couldn't do podcasts. I thought when I quit my job that the first thing I'd be doing is just running back to all the things that I thought that I enjoyed, like streaming and working on my art, my music, my tray. Bruh, hello.
Bruh.
Okay, there we go. The sound effects. Working on tray, ultimately working on myself. So I'm going to be honest and tell you that these last couple of months, I did not give a fuck about what was going on in the world. I didn't care because what was going on in my world was crashing. My world was on fire. My world was burning. So all the stuff that was happening outside of my world, I didn't really care for it. I didn't really care. And when I say I don't care, I'm not saying I don't care. I mean, it just did not take priority over what was going on in my life internally. So you got no podcast for a whole year. I lost my drive. I lost my oomph, my pizzazz in life. I lost all that because of this fucking job. Now, quitting the job, again, people think that it's just so simple that you just quit and move on when you have a family to take care of, dreams that you need to finance, you fall into a deeper depression. So not only were you depressed at work where you needed to quit, you also fell into a deeper depression after you quit. And then that was it. My hiatus from showing face and just being in the face. That was my reasoning. Okay, so I want to give you my 5-minute spiel on why were you away, Mix? Now, when it comes to doing decodes, It is extremely exhausting. You can ask anybody that does decodes because you are putting your brain through a treadmill. You are literally fishing and looking for the pieces to connect, because things pop out. Now they need to connect. And, basically, what we are looking at on my screen is my Discord server, which is pretty much fucking dead.
Bruh.
It's fucking dead again. I want to be the proof of what happens when you stop or you take a break. When you stop and you take a break, the world still goes on. You think your followers still remember you? Even if you did an exit survey and said, look, I'm taking a break, it's not going to be the same when you come back. It's a kill switch for your socials. Now, as far as reviving them, you will not return back to social media after hiatus without a rebrand. So if you plan on taking a break, I need to take a break, you better come back with a rebrand because your existing following, they will not remember who you are. They won't care. I mean, maybe some of them do care. They'll be like, where you been? I haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah, they're not going to be looking for you. They'll notice after some time that you have not posted, but they will not be looking for you. So again, 1 year ago, right? What was my last podcast? Not in October. It was in June. You know what I'm saying? But
Bruh.
that was my last podcast. I've also had, a death in the family. That took me out. I just got hit with every spiritual fucking stray that you can think of that would be designed for a person to just take a trip to Club Grippy Socks. But I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still standing. And this particular decode that we're doing today, this one, I didn't even get to finish it. I'm going to start with one thing that I noticed today. I'm not going to pull up my Facebook account. My computer is barely hanging on. Okay. So yeah, I'll be putting the links to the donations very soon. Don't worry. So I noticed today, Facebook reminded me that about 2-3 years ago today, that they discontinued 3G. Significant, isn't it? Timing, isn't it? Because we just experienced a major internet blackout. Okay. Now, the first time, if you go back and you look up the information on when they cut off 3G, it's because they were merging into 5G, right? So they cut off. You understand? I'm just going to leave it at that, okay? Because today, again, a part of me is a little bit tired, overwhelmed, feeling smothered on social media, mainly because I feel like we're screaming in the void, okay? They merged us off something. It's different. The energy is different. It's not even, the fact that my own followers can see the shit that I'm posting. It just feels like the dead internet theory. It's a dead internet. I'm very, very upset. I have so much stuff I want to get off my mind. I don't want to overwhelm with so many details, but I'm just going to fire them off as they come to me. The bots on social media, on Mark Zuckerberg's internet, I will definitely say those AI bots, they are like the vermin. Nobody cares about them. People are using Grok, people are using ChatGPT, people are using Claude, people are using all these different artificial intelligent platforms. No one is using a fucking meta fucking AI. Who the fuck is? That's why I laugh. I actually clicked on one of them by accident, and they were like 1.4 million conversations. Who the fuck is talking to these AIs? I think the AIs are talking to each other. It has to be. Has to be. Ain't no way. So with the internet blackout came this, the Lavore. I hope I'm saying it right. Jewelry heist, right? Thieves had made off with crown jewels in 7 minutes. 7 minutes. It's kind of 7 minutes. 9 a.m., right? 9 a.m., they open it. 9:30, thieves use a disc cutter to break into. I was like, what? What the hell is this movie? What was that movie? Entrapment? Is that what the fuck? What the hell is going on here? So at this point, I'm like, something ain't right. Something just didn't feel right about this at all. And we're gonna dive into it because scooters. They left on scooters. Now, I'm going to say first and foremost, nothing is ever, we all know nothing is ever like calculated so perfectly and executed so perfectly, such as this. There was a timing behind this, right? So in the Discord, and in that Discord, it's under Cosmic Codes. I changed the Discord. I'm trying to be off of social media and more active in servers and smaller spaces. So you guys won't be seeing me on social media like that, other than TikTok. I don't really, and my stories. I don't really see the need to be posting to the explore page of Instagram and Facebook. It's just not working. So of course, naturally, these decodes, we don't go looking for them. They come looking for us. And I will show you how this one came looking for me. So I said, we have the crown jewels. We talked about these jewels before, didn't we? I know because I had to search crown jewels in my phone images. So that's what I did. I typed in crown jewels in my photo gallery, and what popped up was a conversation. It was actually screenshots from when I was talking about Queen Elizabeth's the coronation, right? But this is not the crown jewels that are from England. These are crown jewels in Paris. Yes, I do know that. I do know that. But it's still the words, right? It's the location is irrelevant. It's words. So I said, I felt the rabbit hole opening up. So here's what I found. Now, the question isn't why would they steal the jewels? Is why don't you see the timing? Halloween is coming. That is a high ritual date. You would need these jewels to perform a ritual. That's my assumption. Okay. Again, I'm not I'm no way, form, shape, no more form of shape. You see what I'm saying? I am in no way, shape, or form saying that what my visions is 100% actual factual. These things change all the time. I'm telling you, this is what I call it in real time. And things do change because when enough people catch on, they have to go left. Maybe nobody will see this. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm just saying how I caught it in real time. Now, so we know Halloween is October 31st, 31 reversed is 13, which in my Discord, I actually have a calculator, a gematria calculator in there. So you can actually do decodes without leaving the server. So you would write plus G and then whatever the word is. So here was plus G, Halloween, and it gave me the numbers behind the word Halloween. So again, it goes hand in hand, 31, 13, backwards, forwards. So we know it's a high ritual date, right? We know it's a high ritual date. So let's move on. So I said, now I have a tendency to connect words with what pops out to me. I said, Halloween popped out to me. Let me tell you how they put shit in plain sight. Okay. Now, I went into, what I usually do after this is that I go into like Google or something, which we all know. We don't really fuck with Google like that anymore because it's AI, right? I don't need AI to do a search for me. That's what Google is there for. But for some strange reason, they felt that they wanted to make our lives even more simpler. They did not. They made it a little bit more stressful because now you have to do a research on what has been pulled up for you as a source of information. As much as I love AI, I too am tired. It's too much. Anyway, inside Khloe Kardashian's epic pre-Halloween party. Now we know that these Kardashians, whenever they are in the fucking news, it's because they are pulling attention away from some shit. Just like we know that Kylie Jenner just dropped that horrible, horrible fuck, whatever the fuck that is. It sounds like AI to me. I mean, I'm sorry, everything sounds and looks like AI to me. We have merged into the future of, the holographic universe, if anything. So in this, I was like, E online, they're messy. They're there to report the fucking sheeple shit. So while I'm reading this, right, I'm going through, the article, and then I came down. I said, so ET felt we needed to know about a pre-Halloween party, not even a Halloween party. See, this is what I never understood about these celebrities. Why the fuck do y'all have pre-parties? It's because those days of what they're celebrating are ritual days, So they got to do the pre-party because those days are designated for the actual factual shit that they have planned. So that's my assumption. So this pre-party, we know that the Kardashians, when they're in the news, it's because they're pushing something. So they're the plain sight brigade. That's what I call them. They are the plain sight brigade. They are those who are selected to put things in plain sight. Because again, we know the elite and all these folks can't make moves unless they tell you. They have to tell you. It's just cosmic rule. It's karmic rule. They have to tell you what they do before they do it. But the thing is that what makes it funny is that it's like they didn't specify how they tell you. Like they can't come out and say, hey guys, and there's going to be an alien invasion and blah blah blah. They have to put it in the movie first. Years before that. Again, this is not something that they just drop on us. This is a slow burn of what they do. So this is a slow burn psychological turmoil that they pull on us. So they'll put little secrets in movies. Like we all saw 9/11 coming. We saw 9/11 coming. Whether you saw The Matrix and saw that Neo's ID card said the September 11th, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was The Simpsons when they went to New York and Bart Simpson picked up, the little tour guide book or comic, whatever the fuck it was, and said 911. So again, the plain sight brigade, when something is coming, when these usual suspects pop up. And this time around, when I saw the Kardashians in the news, because we haven't really seen the Kardashians in the news. Nobody really gives a fuck about them anymore. I don't know. I mean, people don't care, Kim wearing the mask, right? We talked about masks on here. I didn't delete anything from the Discord. Hold on. How do you search for insight? In cosmic codes, and we're going to search for mask. Boom. We talked about the masks, right? Well, Kanye. Obviously, Kanye. We talked about these masks, why Kanye with Triple X Temptation, if y'all remember. See, this song called The Mask, Stanley Ipkiss, I talked about all that. So again, this Discord is enriched with even history back to 2022. Okay, so we know this. Like, Minx, why you have that Annabelle doll? You'll see in a minute. You'll see in a minute. Because again, Cardi and Nicki, this Discord, I'm just going to let you guys know this. This Discord, it literally shows a pattern of the distractions. So we just had, look now we got Black China. You see what I'm saying? It's a pattern. It's a constant. Black China's been in the news again, associated with the Kardashians. So again, like I said, when you see the Kardashians, you know that some Kardashian shit is coming. All right, Meg Thee Stallion. That was the last conversation I had on here, which was back in January of 2024. Do you see this shit? Do you see this shit? I'm disappointed in myself. Anyway, we're back at it, and that's all that matters. We're back. So if you stay down, we're not staying down. Madonna. Interesting. Okay, so let's get back to it. So in this slideshow, I noticed that Khloe Kardashian is we love a holiday.
Bruh.
We love a holiday. I noticed the shirt on her guest, whoever this is. I don't know who they are. But the shirt is what I noticed. I said, is that Lady Diana? Oop. She deserves the full bomb. A newspaper article, right? A newspaper article. I said, the fuck is... Okay. The quote on the newspaper article is what sent me down this rabbit hole. It says, she will be mourned as a friend. So I was like, who the fuck said that? That's she will be mourned as a friend. I had to see the whole context. Obviously, we know Minx got the whole context. It was Tony Blair that said this. The whole of our country, all of us, will be in a state of mourning. Diana was a wonderful, warm, and compassionate person who people, not just in Britain, but throughout the world loved and will be mourned as a friend, Blair said in a statement. Reuters reported that the British Broadcasting Corporation announced it would suspend normal Sunday programs. So this was an actual article from the origins of Princess Diana's death. So I said, Tony Blair. I said, wow. Why would they make a shirt out of that? Because, I don't want to sound rude when I say this, but it wasn't really like a profound quote. Like, it wasn't like profound. Like, she will be mourned as a friend. Like, that did not deserve a quote box. Like, it just... Maybe the whole of our country, like I believe the first line, the whole of our country, all of us will be in a state of mourning. That to me sounds more like something that would be headlined. But to say that she will be mourned as a friend, that to me was kind of like, again, stands out. So I looked it up. She will be mourned as a friend. 13. Okay. Now, moving forward. I said, let's go deeper. I said to myself, what is Tony Blair up to? I ain't heard that name in a hot minute. And then I said, oh.
Bruh.
Tony Blair met with Jeffrey Epstein while he was prime minister. Why did the Brits, BBC, Why did they feel October 10th of 2025, which is 1010 portal? Why did they feel the need to let us know this? ¿Por qué? So I said to myself, something must be brewing because, you know, this is like we're talking 2002, right? So I put the article, but I'm gonna do the talking points instead. Again, like I said, my computer is on its last leg. For some reason, can't really transition through all of that. So I took out the key points. So the fact that this article came out based on an information disclosure that came out naming the Clintons, Colin Powell, and the Prime Minister eager as fuck to meet Jeffrey Epstein. What is that shit about? I wrote JF, but what is that about? They were eager to meet this man. In an email to Powell, May 7th, 2002 states, do you remember when Clinton saw Tony Blair and said he wanted to introduce his traveling friend Jeffrey Epstein to TB, which TB is Tony Blair? This was frustrated, Tony Blair said at the time, in the office for reasons he says he was unclear about. I think Tony Blair would be interested in meeting Jeffrey, who is also a friend of mine because Jeffrey is an active scientific catalyst / entrepreneur, as well as someone who has his finger on the pulse as many worldwide markets and currencies. Currencies. So Jeffrey was linked to worldwide markets and currencies. He is young and vibrant. He is safe, whatever that means. He is safe. Who is he? Why do we need to know that he is safe? And Clinton is now doing a lot of traveling with him. Clinton was doing a lot of traveling with him. This is a fucking memo. So, let's move on. Now, Epstein was very close to the Duke of York, which we know. Epstein was convicted in Florida, blah, blah, blah. So it says in the briefing, again, the National Archive released a schedule-headed trade and industry meeting with industry, which includes a memo published May 14, 2002, briefing Sir Tony about Epstein ahead of a meeting schedule. The briefing, written by senior civil servant Matthew Rycroft, marked as R. Again, there was a lot of secrecy going on with these memos and shit, where they were abbreviating names as fuck. It says the background on Epstein is that he is very rich and close to the Duke of York. He adds, Peter says Epstein now travels with Clinton and Clinton wants you to meet him. He thinks you would find a worthwhile conversation with him about A, science, and B, international economic and monetary trends. Now this goes deeper. We had a story that I found about Prince Andrew giving up his royal title, including the Duke of York. So I'm like, what were the royals? This is the question. What were the royals and the U.S. doing fucking around with Jeffrey Epstein? That's... Why? What were we doing with him? We know for a fact that he was dealing with with the market. And then he was also dealing with science. Science, the market. The digging continues. So I said, what kind of jewels are in the crown jewels, So they have silent sapphires. It is believed to have adorned the crowns of jewelry of ancient kings and queens. However, the set that was stolen, they don't know the origins of this set. It says this set modified over time. Its origins remain mysterious. The commissioner and the creator are unknown. So you're talking about this set that was stolen, 24 Cillian sapphires, 1,083 diamonds, right? Coronation shit. It kind of reminds me of like the Mummy. You know, in the Mummy, how they had to get certain things to present to raise the mummy from the dead. You know, it kind of like gives me that vibe. Like they stole this shit, and it's not because they're gonna hawk it or sell it. Like who the fuck? Yo, I got that. I got that coronation jewelry, y'all. Got them diamonds, bruh. Tiara, honey. You like tiaras? 24 Cylon sapphires. You know what I'm saying? 1,083 diamonds. I got that. I got that. That's not what's happening here. So they stole jewelry. They don't care about that other shit. They wanted this shit. Specifically. Now, I also wanted to do research on Princess Diana. Where does she stand in the headlines, in the news? Besides the fact that they decided that they wanted to talk about her fucking sex life. I wasn't going to put that in here. I respect her too much for that. But I will tell you that had articles discussing her sex life recently. Why do we need to know about how Princess Diana was getting dirty Diana'd? I don't care. We don't care. What we want to know is what the fuck is going on in this house, in this home. With all that shit going on with the Prince William, his wife, all that. Motherfuckers dying around them. Something's going on. However, what I thought was very interesting was that they said that Princess Diana's dear close friend recently just passed at 91. Lady Annabelle. Now, I know you guys understand images and likenesses and how sometimes things remind you of other things. The first thing I saw, and I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to crack a joke, was an Annabelle doll. Now, what kills me about this shit is that if you look at her face structure, look at her face structure, right? Fucking same thing as an Annabelle doll. Now, it just so happens, you know, they got the same name. Same distance of the eyes. Same fucking nose. Same hair color. I said, if you laugh, you're going to hell. You are going to hell if you laugh. Now, I am telling you that something fishy is going on. Between the blackout, this theft, her death. She died at 91, by the way. I just feel like they are probably trying to plan a ritual of some sort for Halloween. A Halloween ritual. And there's been celebrities being checked out of here left and right, especially in football. Especially in football. I feel like the more that you sit back and, you know, of course, you're thinking about the 3-eye atlas as well, right? These blackouts and stuff that we are having is not a coincidence. Like some people think that it's a test of the system. No, it's not no test of the system. They already put us over there. It's beyond 5G at this point. Now, I did want to address one thing. I did have someone ask me about my thoughts on the death of Charlie Kirk. I didn't really speak much publicly about it because, again, I'm an honest person. I did not know who the fuck Charlie Kirk was. I
Bruh.
actually, the first time I found out who Charlie Kirk was when he was killed. So I feel like, my input on my thoughts on him after, obviously being that person that discovers posthumous work, you know, I didn't know him to hate him. So my observations on the Charlie Kirk situation is this. Even if I didn't know his politics and what he was about at the time, and going back and digging and reading social media, putting up evidence that, he was racist and he was this and he was that he incited hate and he incited violence. And you have others that are saying that he wasn't telling any lies, and a lot of the things that he said was taken out of context. Um, the only thing that I got out of this Charlie Kirk situation is that when you are a person that is a consumer, a person that consumes content or purchases things, and you guys take a liking to someone that is outspoken or speaks up and speaks out, they risk a lot. A lot. And some of those risks also includes their lives. You have people risking their lives not to tell the truth, but to convey an opinion using data as a weapon. And if people are going to conduct podcasts like that or forums like that, I say that we are getting mad at the wrong people when it comes to these truthers. People that come on these soapboxes to tell the truth about their observations or just to talk about current events, and they insert their opinion. You see, this is why journalism is important, because journalism requires you to tell facts and not your opinion. Your opinion doesn't matter. It's the facts. Now, if you want to spin facts to better support your opinion, then that's what makes you either a dirtbag, if not a dirtbag, a person that just like feeds off of energy that is thrown at them. Now, I've watched a lot of videos of Charlie Kirk, of the things that he said, and I will tell you that I cannot come out of my face and say that I hate him, or I'm more upset that people are rejoicing over the death of someone. Got taken out JFK style, if anything. Whether you believe that it's a psyop, that he wasn't really taken out of the game, is irrelevant. I'm judging people based on how they are reacting to the obvious death of someone. And the fact that, even down to George Floyd, regardless of what your politics are, thoughts are, evidence is, the fact that someone was murdered and you just want to write it off as, oh well, shows where humanity is headed to, for me. Because I don't have to hate you. I don't have to hate a person on the internet to, not pay my respects and say, that was unfortunate for that person. But then again, this idea of free speech being disguised, they're going to take it away. That you think they're not going to take away our free speech? They already have. The Constitution is cooked. It's cooked. Our founding fathers, I wonder what they would think of us today. Because one of the things I definitely said is like, believe like they're going to change the Constitution. They're going to change the Constitution. And their reasoning for changing the Constitution, it would only be one thing and one only, and that is the right to bear arms. Because I will tell you, my prediction is that they're going to use some sort of social credit score, or they're going to pull people's AI conversations that they have with their Groks and with their chat GPTs, and they're going to determine based on your discussions with their chat if you can possess a handgun, if you can protect yourself and your family using a firearm. That's what's going to happen. They're going to determine your ability to do shit based on your interactions with AI. Because they can pull that information anytime they want. And they will. So, at the end of the day, we have to remind ourselves that, in the grand scheme of things, we're headed down a path that is literally going to, test the faith of many. Not only are we dealing with theft and whatever other monkey wrench they throw at us, we're also dealing with the fact that benefits are getting cut off. And it don't matter what color you are. It can be mama or it could be Mimo. Someone ain't eating this Thanksgiving. And that someone should be those billionaires. We are directing our energy towards the wrong people. And they're going to wrap it up in this whole ICE thing as a reason to deploy martial law. And we're going to get caught up. We're going to get caught up in that. So that's the reality. So I don't like to do fear mongering. That's not my thing. I want people to be aware of what's happening. Now, if they're fucking around with sorcery and decide that January. See, I'm already jumping. They decide October 31st to do a ritual using these crown jewels from Paris with these particular crystals and diamonds associating with Napoleon. Associated with Napoleon. So, let's pull up real quick who the fuck Napoleon is. So Napoleon was a French general and statesman who rose to prominence during the French Revolution and led a series of military campaigns across Europe during the French Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. Okay. His Italian origin, moved to France in 1779 and was commissioned as an officer in the French Royal Army. Breakdown of Treaty of Amiens led to the War of the Third Coalition in 1805. However, he is controversial because of his role in wars which devastated Europe, looting of conquered territories, and his mixed record on civil rights. He abolished the free press, ended directly elected representative government, exiled and jailed critics of his regime, reinstated slavery in French colonies, and banned the entry of black people and mulattoes into France, reduced civil rights of women and children in France, and reintroduced a hereditary monarchy, nobility, and violently repressed popular uprisings against his rule. Reinstating slavery is fucking crazy. Reinstating. reinstating slavery. Did you not see a pattern here? Does this not sound familiar here? And should we not be worried here? Abolishing the free press. Does that sound familiar? Ended directly elected representative government. Taking away the vote? That sounds like something that can be done under martial law. Jailed critics of his regime. Jailed critics. Well, you know that certain people was excited about certain comedians who had their show pulled off the air, where it then led to Disney spreading their cheeks. Banned the entry of black people and mulattoes into France. Sounds like people being banned from coming here in the United States. Reintroduced a hereditary monarchy and nobility and violently repressed popular uprisings against his rule. And he's laughing at the king's thing, right? Look, bottom line is this. I'm going to be keeping my eye on things. It's very important to keep our eyes on these things, because nobody just goes around fucking stealing jewels like this. Nobody does this. Nobody just sits around with a fucking "she will be mourned as a friend" t-shirt on a pre-Halloween party having to do with a royal. Mind you, Princess Diana, because she wasn't like part of that, never had any royal jewelry. She had jewelry made in her designs, and the queen had loaned her some shit, but she was like, "Give me back my shit, bruh, when you're done." I'll tell you one thing that nobody else will ever have is a fucking revenge dress. Princess Diana didn't need a crown. She didn't need a crown of jewels. She was the jewel. A woman that had, I don't want to say went viral, but wore a revenge dress on her prince, her king, her honey, her boo, her bae, after he cheated. Wore a revenge dress. Baddie. So, again, crown jewels are needed for ancient rituals. It is to symbolize the passing of authority from one monarch to another during a coronation ceremony. You remember when the queen died and they broke her staff? Who or what or why are we expecting a royal passing? Because a royal passing don't necessarily need to, it don't have to be like the monarchs, man. You're talking about people that are self-proclaimed princesses of pop, hip hop. So you got two queens fighting, Nicki and Cardi, over and talking shit about each other's kids. Now, you look at that shit, two queens fighting over their rule on hip hop. Sounds like, to me, that there might be a coronation on that level coming soon. So, with all that said, are you buying it? Are you buying it? Please make sure you guys join the forum over at www.cryptickingdom.com. 24 hours, 365 of news and posts and memes. We have a chat room. We have a forum that has gifts when you participate. So definitely take advantage of that or join the Discord. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know it's been a while. I will be back with the next level of the rabbit hole that I'm digging because I'm getting close and close and closer to the truth every day. Have a great night.